Marriage. It is an interesting, if rather shadowy institution for the uninitiated. In this case, I'm referring to singles, many of who seem to be under the impression that marriage is all about love, romance, candlelit dinners, and so on and so forth. Certainly, if you have that going on in your marriage, it's beautiful. It helps to keep the spark alive. But for those who are already in it, it doesn't take time to find out that what matters more is money, finances, the presence of absence of which could make or break your marriage. So today we take a closer look at the rather obscure topic of prenuptial agreements. Many Nigerians were aghast when they heard that Anita Okoye, wife of Paul, one half of the popular singing duo P Square, was demanding a monthly upkeep of $15,000, having filed for divorce from the singer on the grounds of infidelity. This was in August of 2021. Today, that sum would translate to approximately 6,150,000 naira. Anita Okoye was seeking the amount for the general welfare, education, and health of their children, currently based in the United States of America. The outrage expressed was primarily because it was totally unheard of. What is commonplace in Nigeria is that people divorce and go their separate ways without making demands for upkeep. This naturally raised the question of prenuptial agreements. Popular in the West, the concept seems totally alien to Nigerians.
My name is Claire.
Are you sure I'm in the mood?
It's just a yes
tired.
or no question.
I'm tired.
This is my colleague. I want to ask you, have you heard of a prenup before?
What?
Have you heard of a prenup before?
Pre-nup? No.
No.
You have never heard of a prenup?
No.
Have you heard of a prenup before? No.
No,
You have never heard of a prenup?
no, I have not.
I have not heard.
So it is a form of agreement where a couple come together and actually agree on how they are going to put together or issues that has to do with the affairs of the marriage. Immediately they enter into that marriage. So there could be a prenuptial one, and there could also be a post-nuptial agreement. So, but the one that is pre-nups or prenuptial is that one that is entered into before a marriage takes place.
The prenuptial agreement, or pre-nups, as they call it, it's an agreement entered into between prospective couples prior to a marriage. The husband and wife, proposed husband and wife, agreeing in writing. They can agree on something, but this one is usually in writing. They agree as to how things will go between them when they finally get married.
Despite the rather persuasive argument provided by barrister Ike Utazi, most of the people we spoke to did not seem to like the idea.
Okay.
Would you?
How new is the word, please?
It's always been there. It's just not common in Nigeria.
Okay. And is there a law backing it up, or is just
I think it's part of
something-
a marital law.
is this part of a marital law to read?
Yes.
Okay. How are we to benefit from that now?
Like every other agreement, it is to guide the parties as to how to relate with respect to things they have or who they are prior to the marriage. I'll give you an example. This one is happening right now. The marriage is yet to take place. The lady is into entertainment. And the man said, when we get married, you may drop this. He said, no, that is my identity. They are still. I've been asked to, if you see our chats. So I asked the lady, close your eyes. They said yes. I said, in the next 10 years, what are you seeing about yourself? Do you see yourself in the next 10 years without being this? They say it's not possible. I used 10 years. In other places, they say 5. If it will not matter in 5 years, then forget about it. But I used 10. He said there's no way. Do you see it? It's an issue. They have to resolve it now. It's an example of pre-nup. So if they don't resolve it, one day the lady will say, we are going to Lagos for this. It becomes an issue. And you know, women are always at the receiving end. They say, hey. Some are politicians. The person says, this one happened live. I won't mention the states or the people. The lady is a strong member of one of the political parties. Came back one day, said, they have given me the ticket to go to the House of Assembly. He said, wow. The husband says, that's right. But if you win, I will leave the country for 4 years. When you finish, I'll come back. Because I won't sit here and you'll be in the House of Assembly.
Okay, I see no reason why my spouse would demand for such kind of thing. I won't marry you. I won't, like, at all. It's not possible.
There's nothing wrong with understanding, having some agreement, understanding each other and say, look, my dear wife or my dear sister or my wife to be or my husband to be, this is how we want this marriage to be. This is how we want it to be. And they document it. There's nothing wrong with that.
If you want to be specific, having an agreement, especially when it comes to finances, I think is proper. It's proper that it should be documented.
The traditional system with the Nigerian men, we don't want to discuss that because in Nigeria is a patrilineal society and everything depends on what the man wants, the decision of the man.
I can't marry someone that we will go into agreement that if something wrong happens, we will divorce. That one, I will not get into that kind of marriage. Because once you do so, I think and I thought you have a negative thought. That's why you are going into this kind of agreement with me.
There is something about marriage. You have to be truthful. You have to be straightforward. And there are men that works based on their budget, their salary. And even the Federal Republic of Nigeria also work based on their budget appropriation. So it is good for you to be sincere with your spouse. You tell her the truth. This is what I aim. And this is what I'm willing to offer. And this is how we are going to do it.
Well, he's not the only man in the world. And for me, I will not support my daughter to do that. You understand? Because what it means is that the man is not actually, he doesn't love her. Because if he does, he will not make her to, sign any agreements. Why should she do so?
The pre-nup is not something associated with our African culture or the Nigerian setting. I believe that when a man and a woman is married, I believe they are one. And whatever happens, whatever situation happens, the both are joined together. It's a combined effort. And everything, even though tomorrow the man is late or something like that, I think the wife should be able to take over the assets of the husband and things like that, that is left by the husband. So I don't believe the pre-nup is something that is associated with an African culture or a Nigerian setting.
From what we've gathered so far, it is evident that prenups are not something that have come to stay in Nigeria. Why? We do not know, but we're hoping that this expert will tell us why.
Section 72, subsection 2 of our Matrimonial Causes Act actually mentioned something that has to do with a pre-nuptial agreement. But then it does not delve so much into it. It mentioned that just in passing. And so that is one of those things. So unlike or laws in some other jurisdiction outside this country, where you will see specific laws are on the subject matter of a pre- and post-nuptial agreement, where as to the form, the process, the enforcement, all are contained, are codified. We don't have that in Nigeria. And so that is likely to take away the interest of that subject matter from Nigerians. The moment you are going into a marriage arrangement with somebody and you are beginning to talk about a prenuptial agreement, that person begins to see you as losing trust in the other person. So it's as if you are envisaging divorce. Because whether you like it or not, whether wrongly or rightly, we have actually come to equate prenuptial agreement to issues that have to do with or divorce in Nigeria or separation between couples.
I'm not ready for such marriage. And that man, a man thinking of, I believe marriage is all about good things, not bad. And that man that is thinking of divorce, giving condition before marriage, is not ready to marry.
But I tell you, that is a wrong way or the wrongest way of looking at prenuptial agreement. Prenuptial agreements go beyond just issues that have to do with property. But it covers every affair that you can envisage in relation to marriages. And so this feeling of distrust, you feel it is because the other party does not trust me. And that is why he's talking of this kind of arrangement, where we begin to define what happens to us after this marriage.
To me, I see agreement as something, a kind of backup for a strange person you are dealing with. If I say someone is going to be my wife, my love, my second part, my heartbeat, why do I need to go into an agreement? That means I don't trust her. If I truly trust the person, I don't need to go into any agreement.
The other thing again is we are so religious in Nigeria. There's this feeling that once in marriage, you are forever in that marriage. That is the feeling. And so talking about prenuptial agreement portrays you as somebody who is not even serious in the first place for marriage.
God did not sign any agreement when he instructed that people should be joined together as man and wife. And no man should put us under. So no agreement should put us under. If he insists on the agreement, then my daughter should be left alone to marry somebody else.
And so by talking about prenuptial or agreement, there's this feeling, there's this notion that it's because this person is not serious. And that is why he's talking about this. He does not even know the importance of marriage. He does not cherish marriage. And that is why he's talking about this kind of agreement. And so if he's the man that owns everything, that is supposed to work around the clock, that is supposed to do everything, work hard and provide for the family, it then means what is the wife that is going to be dependent? Who in most cases you will see as full-time housewives. What is she coming there to think about in relation to or affairs of that marriage thereafter? Rather, it's at the mercy of the man. And so that kind of traditional feeling is still with Nigerians.
Some respondents are leery of such agreements.
Marriage is a two-way thing. It takes two to tango. It needs understanding. It is not about agreement. Even if I enter into an agreement, that agreement can be set aside. In Africa, in an African setting or culture, all these agreements, all these legal whatever, they always take second stage.
Barrister Bamidele says they have a point.
Prenuptial agreements are not automatically binding. Let's get that very clear and very clearly. Now, they are not automatically binding in the sense that when you enter into a prenuptial agreement, that agreement in itself is not automatically binding. If issues do not arise in relation to issues covered by that agreement, and that is now taken before the court for a court to make a pronouncement on them, it is when the court exercises its discretion in favor of a term of marriage that becomes binding. In fact, at best, it's just persuasive.
Exactly, in view of the current realities of our existence, like I said, people are becoming more concerned with self. It is no more a community thing where parents will come in and say, no, do it like this, or the villagers will come. So because of that, it is very necessary that people, before they go into marriages, they should discuss, possibly put down how they intend to deal with what they are or what they have acquired before they consummate the marriage.
It must be noted that prominent international figures like President Donald Trump, entrepreneur Jeff Bezos, and world-acclaimed musician Paul McCartney, none of whom had prenups, all lost massive sums of money to their spouses when their marriages fizzled out. Regardless of whatever benefits and protections they might hold, prenups might never get to be a welcome development in Nigeria.
To me, I don't think I would do it. It's not proper anyway, so I don't think I would do it.
Meanwhile, we wish Paul and Anita Okoye a happy reconciliation as they got back together some months ago. Whether a prenup is for you or not, it is important to be able to make money and have money, because marriage is all about bills, bills, bills. You need money, not just to prepare against a divorce, but even to live a good life in your marriage. And that is where we come in handy, because if you keep watching my content, I give tips on how to make money online, small businesses, entrepreneurship, money management skills, budgeting, and so on and so forth. Now, if you have found this content useful, please watch again. Remember to like, share, comment, and do subscribe. Then join us again next week.